it's all gone away, that you've been put to shame. When will you deal with pain in your eyes, the words I have? I will be here with you, with you, with you, with you. Wake up to the sound of silence. Be still and know that I am here. Take my hand, I will hold you. Wipe away all your tears. My grace is sufficient for you. My love will wash away the past. Lay your burdens on my shoulders. Know the trials will pass. Be still and know. Feel not, feel that I am with you. Be not afraid. Feel not, feel that I am with you. Be not afraid. Wake up to the sound of silence. Be still and know that I am here. Take my hand, I will hold you. Wipe away all your tears. My grace is sufficient for you. My love will wash away the past. Lay your burdens on my shoulder. Know the trials will pass. Be still and know. Hello friend, how you doing? It's been a while since you listened to the voice deep inside you. Build up walls around you. You've been talking about souls, but when you look inside, do you see your own? Let's flow now with all those pretty little things you buy and all those frowns and sighs deep within. Wake up to the sound of silence. Be still and know that I am here. Take my hand, I will hold you. I will wait for your tears. My grace is sufficient for you. My love will wash away the past. Lay your burdens on my shoulders. Know the trials will pass. Be still and know. turned away from home. Why do you, dear, insist on trying to do things on your own? When you're crying and screaming that it's all gone away, that you've been put to shame. When will you, dear, open your eyes? Or was I have? I will be here with you, with you, with you, with you. Wake up to the sound of silence. Be still and know that I am here. Take my hand, I will hold you. Wipe away all your tears. My grace is sufficient for you. My love will wash away the past. Lay your burdens on my shoulders. Know the trials will pass. Be still and know. Feel that I am with you. Be not afraid. Fear not that I am with you. Be not afraid. Wake up to the sound of silence. Be still and know that I am here. Take my hand, I will hold you. Wipe away all your tears. My grace is sufficient for you. My love will wash away the past. Lay your burdens on my shoulders. Know the trials will pass. Be still and know. Say that you've been put to shame. When will you deal? Open your eyes, the words I have. I will be here with you, with you, with you, with you. Wake up to the sound of
I had us on screen, and then all of a sudden it wasn't on screen anymore. There's
I
a
have
surprise.
no idea what happened there.
Oh, there's a surprise. Oh, wait a minute, it just went funny again. Yeah, I was plugging in my second monitor. Yeah, I've discovered that I have to unplug my second monitor because if I don't, it makes the video lag, the intro video. So that's why I think it lags. So here we are again, another show, another Sunday. Yeah, we got a couple of good guys coming on today that I'm looking forward to speaking to. Pee Dee Region Paranormal.
Bit of a mouthful of a name, isn't it?
Yeah, it is a bit of a mouthful.
Pee Dee Region Paranormal.
But they've been doing paranormal investigations for a long time. So we're gonna get into that in a little bit. And how are things with you?
Yeah, things are all right. I'm still practicing my editing. Still trying to work up the courage to start it properly. But other than that, that's all I've been up to, really. So, how about yourself?
Yeah. How is the sunny Vegas? Are you liking it?
I do. It's very good fun.
Are you finding it difficult or?
I did the first couple of days. I'm a bit more in tune with it now. I think I've almost done one of the intros.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but I don't know if I'm gonna keep it yet. So
for what?
For
what?
For the next season.
Oh, really? Oh, okay. That's
so
cool.
For half the tour, but I haven't decided if I'm going to use this one yet. But it's looking okay. So
just
depending.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not 100% happy with it yet. So but I'm getting there.
I won't say anything. I'm going to keep this quiet. If you need anything from Storyblocks, just let me know, and I can
don't worry.
Download it for you and send it to you. I can't say anything about that.
No worries.
No, we can't say anything about that. You can't be using that stuff. Only me, because I have the license.
Yeah, definitely not me.
So regarding me, my screen just went black. Why did my screen just go black?
No idea. You're all good on this end.
Am I good? Okay.
Yeah.
So, there it goes. That's weird. Anyway, so I put a post out today that there's some big news coming out from Parapost. Well, today I had a meeting on Thursday, and we had the final meeting today. And there is a really, really big thing happening for Parapost, and I'm going to talk about it now. I'm actually a little bit, you know what? I'm actually a little bit nervous about it, to be honest, um, because it's going to be a lot. It's going to be a
It's
lot of
definitely
work,
huge.
and it's going to be very, very big, and it's going to be great for Parapost and the other people involved. So there is something that happens every year. It's called the world's largest ghost hunt. This year it's happening on September 24th. Most
Mhm.
people know about it. If you're in the paranormal industry, you should know about this, to
Yeah.
be honest. So we had the final, I guess, introductions today to a lot of people that are either working with it or are a part of it in some way, like maybe investigating or part of the committees or something like that. Well, guess what? Parapost is now on the executive committee with the world's largest ghost hunt. Now, yeah, I'm looking super forward to seeing what happens down the road. Obviously, it's going to be huge. I will also say part of that committee, and I when I found out back in, I guess it was January when I first found out this might be coming my way. I got somebody else involved that I trust, that is turned out to be a great friend, and that's Rob from Get Haunted. He is now part of it. And I told Michelle I would say her name first, but unfortunately I said mine first. So if Michelle's watching, I'm sorry. Michelle Rouse is also part of the executive committee. She's been doing it, I guess, for a number of years, and she's very good friends with Maria Schmidt, the one who owns it. And I'm sorry, I'm gonna maybe butcher this last name, but another person that's involved, her name is Catherine. I believe she's part of the executive committee. I'm not even going to try. Her last name is Sorellis or Sorolis or something like that. And I'm sorry if I'm butchering your last name. I apologize. But yeah, so Parapost is going to be well represented on the world's largest ghost hunt, which I'm very, very excited for, which is obviously going to help the site. It's also going to help the Facebook page. So there's big things with Parapost, Get Haunted, Michelle Rouse, and with her thriller events as well, because I guess she's part of that or runs that. But yeah, so I'm really, really excited. I'm nervous at the same time, to be honest, because it is something really, really big. And if you're in the paranormal field, I guarantee you know what the world's largest ghost hunt is. And it's something that happens all over the world on a specific day where all these investigations take place and at all of these incredible locations. So I think me and Rob are newbies coming onto this, so there's definitely a learning curve, but we got to meet some great people today that are involved. So we're really, really looking forward to it, and I'm glad I reached out to Rob and asked if he wanted to be involved, because I think he's going to be a fantastic addition, especially with his knowledge and his background in events and with a lot of the connections that he has since starting in this field. And I think it's just going to be a wonderful, wonderful thing. And me and Rob have spoken a little bit about it, where we think we'd like to have the command center where it's going to happen. We do. He does have some ideas about that. So we're looking at. Obviously, we haven't spoken to Michelle and Catherine or Maria yet, but we do have a couple of places in mind that we think are going to be fantastic places. But us executives are looking to leave an amazing legacy that Maria has left, and eventually take it over completely. And we just want to make Maria proud, but I'm sure in some way or another she's always going to be involved. So we're really looking forward to getting started, and it's going to be an interesting ride. That's for damn sure. So again, this is what was one of my major goals for Parapost, to get involved with something that was big, and I don't think this can be any bigger. And it's huge. It's huge, and I'm so happy that. And it's funny how me and this all got started because Maria was on the show for Women Investigate Too. And that's where it all really began. And so we've been talking about it for a couple of months, and finally I spoke to her about a week and a bit ago, and that's where it all transpired. So it's going to be amazing. And everybody that's involved with Parapost and Get Haunted, and Michelle Rouse and Catherine, and we're going to put on a good event, and hopefully we'll put on a good event for the next several years that people can be proud of and say I was part of the world's largest ghost hunt. So, so that's my news. But there is more news coming out this week that everybody will eventually find out for the Parapost Network Facebook page. So that's more news coming out this week, and yeah, it's going to be really good. So why don't we get started? What time is it? It is 4:10, and I think we've talked long enough. What do you think?
I would assume so.
Yes. So I met Robert. I guess it's got to be a couple of weeks ago. I met him on a show on Global show. They had a show. I was up with him and Brian James and a few other people, and that's where I met Robert. And he's now on Parapost Network Central Facebook page. He's also on the app, but he did a show. Him and Brian did a show this past Thursday. If you haven't checked it out, go over to Parapost Network Central and check out their show. They interviewed somebody from the Wrath Chasers, and which was a great show. It was a big hit. It got some big numbers on the page. And so, and they got a great group coming up this Thursday, I believe it's Thursday, the Twisted Realm from Paraflix, which are a fantastic group on Paraflix. So you definitely want to check them out. But this Thursday, you'll definitely want to check that out. And these guys are good. And, I just recently met Brian, but I've met Robert. I've spoken to him a few times over Messenger and stuff like that. He's a great guy. He's really pushing out the Parapost, which I think is amazing. And obviously, we're going to push him out to get his show more popular and stuff like that. So, without further ado, I'm going to introduce you to Robert first. And there he is. There's the man.
What's going on, fellas?
How's it going?
And next, we're going to introduce Brian, and we're not going to make any comments because his name's spelled wrong. But this is Brian Horton. There he is.
What's going on, fellas?
How's it going, guys?
Good.
Well, let me start off by let me just hold on. Give me a minute here. Let me start off by saying thank you for coming on today's show. We do appreciate that. I know I mentioned to you, I think it was about a week and a half ago, Robert, that I was going to bring you up.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if you thought it was going to be this fast, but I'm glad I did. And you guys had an amazing show on Thursday with the Wrath Chasers. His name's Mike Gonzalez, or how do you say his last name?
Don Cows.
Okay, so that was a great show. You guys did extremely well on that show. You guys got a lot of views and stuff like that, and I'm looking forward to seeing this Thursday with Twisted Realm. That should be a good show.
Yeah, I look forward to it myself.
Now, do you know them personally, or did you just reach out?
Well, we were at EnigmaCon in St. Albans when we first met them, and when we got through EnigmaCons, we just pretty much exchanged emails and Facebooks, and we try to stay in touch as much as possible.
Yeah. Now, you guys have I watched some of your videos today, like I was telling you earlier, Robert, and you guys have been in the business a long time.
Yes, sir. I'm going
26
years.
Yeah, it was 26 years. And Brian, you've been in it quite a while too.
Yes, sir. About the same as Robert.
Yeah. So let me ask you this, guys. And I think it's a great question. You guys have been in it for so long. How did you originally get into the paranormal?
You want to go first, Brian? Go ahead.
Yeah, I'll go first. Basically, when I was in grade school, I just catch myself finding books on ghosts and things and supernatural. and I'd read them, and that's what got me started, trying to find the answers and the truth.
So no internet at that time, eh?
It was, but it was slow.
We all had to go to the library. We all had to go to the library if we wanted to get information. I remember when the internet first came out. It was definitely slow, and it was the dial-up, right?
Yeah.
Where you had to connect, and you heard that loud buzzing noise when it was trying to hook up to the internet. So, what about you, Robert? How did you get involved?
I got started whenever I was very young. My grandmother's house had a lot of activity going on that nobody could explain. And, most of my cousins and stuff, they get over there, stuff happens. They would just get really, really scared. And then, I'm the oddball. So instead of me getting scared, I'm the one that's peeking out trying to see what it is. And it perked my interest at a very young age. So, I was that type of kid who would sneak down the road instead of playing in the yard with my friends with a flashlight and an old disposable camera and go into the back side of the graveyard and just snap pictures and see what I could capture about dark. Because, you can't stay out too late after dark at that age. Mom would kill us. But, that was me. I was always the one searching for the answers. And then whenever I had my very first experience myself in that home, it just opened up a whole new level for me to where I had to prove what it was or find out what it was. And it's been a search for 26 years now.
Now, so when you said you take your pictures, was it with the old Polaroid camera?
Oh no, it was with the old Kodak disposable camera where when you use it one time, you get it developed and throw it in the trash.
Yeah, that's good. That's great. That's great. Go ahead,
then we were lucky enough to purchase a cell phone when they come out, the old flip phone. It was called the Motorola Razor.
I still have that phone.
Yeah,
I've still got it in there. Yeah,
that became my first paranormal tool.
Nice. So let me ask you this to both of you. After, as I said, being in the game 26 odd years, what is it about this that's keeping the search going? Like, how are you motivating yourselves to keep doing this as much as you are? Because I know some people do it for a few years and then maybe they phase themselves out for whatever reason. So is there a big motivator for you?
Personally, for me, I just love doing it. I love it for the feel, and I just love doing it. Keep doing it.
And as far as I go, the biggest thing that keeps me going is helping my clients, my personal clients in my local area that we take care of. They call us and they say, okay, we having issues. Like one residence we did not too long ago, she kept hearing bells chiming, really high-pitched frequencies. And it kept going on and on. We go over there, we do not hear it. I mean, honestly, we capture nothing. And then I got to talking to Bryan one day and I said, I think this case is not going to be paranormal. I think this is going to be something that we're going to have to open our horizon on. So we go in there with some radiation meters and come to find out every wiring in her home in the attic above where she sits most of the time has no ground wire whatsoever. And it's throwing out a radiation level that could honestly make you sick. So we got an electrician to come in there and check it out. And they wound up having to rewire her whole house. Once they rewired her whole house, we have not got a call back yet.
Oh, my Lord.
So helping the client is the first thing really that helps me keep it going. Plus, like Bryan said, it's fun. We enjoy it. We love going different places. We love meeting new people. We love that's why we started the podcast. I mean, like watching y'all's podcast is so we learn so much from watching y'all and from watching Bryan James and Eldon and all these guys till it gives us a chance to not only sit here and have a conversation with you fellas, but we get to absorb some of your knowledge.
I agree, and that's about it's learning from each other, right? And
that's it.
The biggest, I think, one of the biggest downfalls in this industry is, and you guys know this. You guys have been around long enough to know the biggest problem in this industry is ego, and and territorial is another one too. And I can never understand that. I've had people reach out to me that live in this area and say, "Do you know any haunted spots?" And I will tell them, "Hey, you go here, and go here." But some paranormal investigators are like, "No, I don't know any." No, I'm not going to tell you where to go. I'm not going to give you and it always baffles my mind when paranormal investigators do this. And I do want to point something out. Literally, I think it was at the 3024 mark because looked like there was an orb that went right in front of Bryan.
I
saw it as well. Yeah.
I ain't a teller, man. I got these creepy ass dolls behind me back there.
Okay. So I don't know if anybody else got that, but I got that. But yeah, and I just find that this industry is, I think the people that have been in the industry for a long time can appreciate the fact that we're not, we're here because we love it. We have a passion for it. And I just find, maybe it's me, and I might be completely off base here, but I just find not including you, Lex, I'm not including you in this. I just find the younger generation is coming out with more of an ego, like, oh, I'm going to do this for a year and then I'm going to be on TV. And, unfortunately, it just doesn't work that way. But so the next question I'd like to ask you, and we were talking about your show earlier, what generated the podcast? Why did you guys go into that direction?
Well, we were sitting back and we were watching, of course, Through the Lens. We were watching Shadow Zone. We were watching all these different podcasts. And I got to telling Bryan, I said, it's a really good idea if we can make it happen, because number one, it'd be a way for us to introduce ourselves to other peoples in the field. Number two, it'll give us a chance to absorb information from these people, plus to share our information with these people. And it helps us interact with our fans who follow us and comment on everything we do and like everything we do. It gives them a chance to come into the comments and throw the questions out there to where we can actually make them relevant into it. So, if they have a question for you and they don't know how to get up with you, this is a good way for them to ask you that question.
Mm-hmm. And Bryan, what was when Robert came to you? I don't know who came to who about the show, but if Robert came to you about the show, was it something that you had been thinking about or thought about doing, or was it something that he needed to, ask you a couple of times about?
No, we actually thought about it for a while.
Yeah.
We just didn't get around to doing it.
Yeah. Yeah. And what are your thoughts so far after your first show? Did you enjoy it?
I enjoyed it. It was nerve-wracking at first, but now it's easy to do.
I think what makes it easier is for me personally, and this is for me, I think it makes it a lot easier when you're getting a guest on your show, and it doesn't feel like it's an interview. It just feels like a bunch of guys talking about paranormal. Exactly right. And I think if you do that, and if that's done, it makes the show so much more better, because I know a lot of people have reached out to me and Lex and has said, you guys gel so well together. Well, I think the reason is because we don't want to make it like an interview. We want to make it like, whoever's on the show, whether it's 2, 3, 4, or 5 people, we just want to make it feel like it's conversation, and that's talking about what we have a passion for, and that's the paranormal. And it makes the show. So if I can give any, I don't want to give any advice, but with you guys moving forward, you guys do like that. You guys are going to have a successful show. You really are. And it was a good start on Thursday. That's for damn sure. And oh, yeah. I would say when you guys put out the thumbnail, what was it, a week before the show?
Yeah, about
and
a week.
It's already had 2,000 views.
Yeah.
Like for a thumbnail, to me, that's incredible.
And then to get was it 50 over 50% come back and watch the actual show.
Oh, Lex Rose.
As well, but then you had over 1,000 on the actual show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Am I still frozen?
No,
not
you're
anymore.
Good. No, you're good. No, you're good.
I'm good. Yeah. So when you get a 50% conversion rate from people liking the advert to coming to the show, that's a phenomenal way to kickstart your show. I mean, we did R1 was a bit hit or miss when we first did R1 because my internet was tasty. It was terrible.
Well, we got an advantage on a lot of people when it comes to our show, and number one, and that's having Parapost backing us, and we appreciate that 100%.
Yes, sir.
And we have Global in the background with Bryan and Eldon coaching us and helping us and letting us know the do's and the don'ts of it, because they got experience doing it. We don't. So we have a really big team behind us that's supporting us and pushing us out there that really helps us.
And you know what? And to me, that's what matters, right? And and you guys obviously know that, with people backing you and behind you and stuff like that and supporting you, you're going to get bigger. You're going to get your word out there. You're going to get your show out there, or even your YouTube. And speaking of YouTube and your show and stuff like that, if anybody wants to follow Pee Dee Regional Paranormal, their links are below in the description. So just go click on one of those links, go over to follow them on YouTube. I watched some of their videos today on YouTube. They were great. I like the video. I have to be honest. I like the videos when you guys were introducing yourselves. And I thought, and you know what? I thought the last guy, the tech guy, your tech guy, you could tell he really didn't know what to say. But it was good. It was I enjoyed watching your videos, and it's about support. It's about people backing you, and and you really find out very, very quickly who supports you and who doesn't support you, unfortunately, in this business. And some people sometimes get, I don't want to say jealous, because that would probably be, well, maybe it is the word, but they're seeing you're doing so well and they're struggling. But you know what? My philosophy on that is, if you're struggling, reach out to somebody.
That's exactly right.
Somebody will help you, and yeah.
And if I could give them any piece of advice, the best piece of advice would be is, when you got these big guys like Parapost and Global stepping in to help you, you can't just accept the help and sit back and say, well, thank you. You got to support them as well. Even though you're not as big as they are, you got a fan base that they might not have. They might be a few hundred people that don't even know they exist. Throw them out there, spit them out, broadcast them.
Yeah, even if it's not that many people, if it's 10 extra people to view it, it's still beneficial.
That's exactly right. So it goes both ways. If somebody's going to scratch your back, scratch their back.
Yeah, so I'm glad we brought up Global, actually, because I obviously during my research this week into you guys, because I hadn't heard of you yet, which is why I love doing this show. I got, obviously, the first thing I noticed was the Global logo, and having Global, having Eldon on the show previously, very up to date with them. And I wanted to ask how long you've been paired up with Global.
It's been about 3 weeks now, and the way that's working is we actually have took over the division on the East Coast, which is the Global United Paranormal PD division, which was, of course, named after us being Pee Dee Region. But now we're not region no more. So that's going to be changing. There's new things coming to PD. It's not going to be Pee Dee Region Paranormal no more, because the Pee Dee Region, it follows the Pee Dee River in our area, and that is what they call that region. But now that we have merged in with Global, it's global. So it's no more region. So we're going to be running the whole East Coast side.
Oh, fantastic! Because I don't know how many he's got in my country, because I'm one of them.
Yeah, and I'm one of them here in Canada as well.
Yeah.
So if he ever needs, he needs Lex or me to go and tackle somebody out in this area and investigate and figure out what's going on. If somebody's having some problems, we're up for the task. And obviously, Global has our full support, obviously, and and with you guys as well, so. But the question I want to ask you guys, getting into the more investigation side of things, when you guys are on an investigation, and Robert, you can answer this, and Bryan, you can answer this as well. What is your favorite piece of equipment to use?
I'd have to say my favorite piece of equipment, number one, is myself. My feelings, my thoughts, just the atmosphere change. But I'd have to go, honestly, old school. A digital recorder is my favorite piece of equipment. I'd have to say that.
Fantastic. And for yourself, Bryan?
For myself, myself is my best tool. And like Robert said, my recorder. We have a lot of stuff to use, but we've been going old school here lately.
Well, sometimes the old ways are the best ways.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Now,
I'm the same. I'm the same
yeah.
as well. Yeah, like the camera, the recorder, and the K2 every once in a while. But I will say my favorite piece of equipment, and people that know me know what my favorite piece of equipment. Yeah, the recorder and myself, and the camera. But my SB7 is my number one go-to.
Yeah.
So I capture so many different things on the SB7. And when I was doing when I was in the UK for the last month, doing several investigations, what I found fascinating, and I mentioned it on last week's show, normally when you get the SB7 or the SB11 or whatever it is, you get a lot of radio stations here in North America.
Right.
In the UK, nothing. I think I got one radio station once, and the only reason why I got that is because we were right by the water, and the town was right there, and I think that's the only reason why I got it. But other than that, that was the only time I ever got a radio station. So it's really, really cool.
Well, we're actually working on a piece of equipment now for Paratech Laboratories that is kind of like an SB7, but it's not going to scan radio frequencies. We're actually going to try to figure out how to drop the frequency out of the radio zone and get to some lower frequencies. So everybody pay attention to Paratech when it starts up and running. It's in the development stages at the moment, but that's going to be a piece of equipment that I'm already testing. And I'm going to tell you, it is phenomenal. You don't get this is 103X. You don't get none of that anymore. Now it's just silence. And it's going through a spectrum that no other radio station or TV broadcast or anything is going through. That's going to be a very cool piece of equipment.
I think that's a really cool. That's definitely a cool piece, especially with me and Bryan personally have heard it a lot, where people will try and try to debunk some of the stuff we get, which is fine. Everyone's entitled to do that. But the worst one I get is when people say, "Yeah, but you're just using a radio." It's just and I was like, "Yeah, but what's the percentage of a question that I ask, or me asking, or when Bryan was here and we're introducing ourselves, like what are the odds that it's going to repeat the name on the radio station?"
Yeah, I mean that's just like when we go to an investigation, we'll hold up a bottle and say, "Can you tell me what is in this?" And if it comes back and it says water, I mean that's kind of undeniable,
Yeah, it's one of my favorite things. I'm like, just the chances are ridiculously slim that it's done that. I mean, we were with Portal to the Paranormal, and as we're going through, it says my name, it says Rosie's name, and it says Nando's name back to back. And we're just like, well, clearly, Nando's didn't use my name in an advert, so I don't know.
Right.
It was a weird one.
And it's the exact same thing when you're talking, and then all of a sudden you hear through the SB7 it says "fuck off."
Yeah, that's
I don't know radio stations are saying that. There's no radio stations that I know are allowed to say that word. You know what I mean? So
they wouldn't be on the air long.
No.
And there's no way that it's picking up Sirius radio.
No.
Like Sirius XM. There's no way it's picking up the satellite.
Yeah, Sirius XM is on a satellite frequency. There's no way it can pick that up because you're talking about 300-400 megahertz.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's just we had somebody on the show recently that is a skeptic, and he's entitled to his opinion. We think it's great. His opinion is, it's fine, but he just calls it a broken radio, and he says it doesn't really do any of that stuff.
Yeah.
It was a good chat with him, though, because if you didn't see that show, it's with Kenny Biddle, and it was a good show. But he did make some good points about the other reasons he debunked stuff. It was just, I think that's the one that we just really disagreed with, and have made no secret that we disagree with it.
Yeah, I have a video up on YouTube where I was standing in a church, and it says Bryan 3 times in a row. So basically, what you're telling me is, it said Bryan on one station, and then went to another one and said Bryan again, and then it said Bryan again.
Wow.
The same guy calling up the shows.
Yeah.
So I want to flip that question a little bit. Then, is there a piece of equipment that you guys really don't like? That's in the field that probably used more, or do you think there's a piece of equipment that shouldn't be used as much as it is being used?
Well, that's a loaded question. There's a lot of pieces of equipment out there that I can say can be tampered with easily. It's just like, for instance, don't get me wrong, I love a K2 meter, but let's use the K2 as an example. If you got a K2 and you got a phone in your pocket and you walk by, it's going to go off. If you're using a walkie-talkie with your team and you key your walkie-talkie up, it's going to set it off. I mean, so you got to be paying attention to what's near that K2 whenever it's actually going off. You know what I mean? So, and that's not just the K2 REM pod, same
REM
way.
pods.
Key up your walkie-talkie, your REM pod all over the house is going to go off. But we've come up with a new walkie-talkie design through Zello that does not interfere. You can go in there and talk all day long on your walkie-talkie. As a matter of fact, we have one right there with us. It's a Zello walkie-talkie, and it does not interfere with any of our equipment because of the frequency level that it's on. Everything boils down to frequencies in what we do.
Well said.
You know what, Robert, Bryan, what about you? What's something that you wouldn't use or you have a problem with, or?
Basically, same thing. K2, it can be debunked, and REM pods, they're good, but like he was saying, with the walkie-talkies going off, it's gonna set them off.
Yeah, I was also told on the REM pods as well that you got to be very careful with REM pods because you can be in another room, walking, not wearing shoes, and you can be you can be wearing socks, and you go across the carpet, and it can give off ions that sets off the REM pod.
That's highly possible.
Yep.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting. There's I think me and Lex are, a lot of the apps me and Lex question as well, like the SLS and the Ghost app and stuff like that. And me and Lex are kind of on the fence about the necrophonic. We are on the fence about that. But sometimes when we're asking a question with the necrophonic, you get that response, that immediate response to that question. And you go, well, maybe, you know what I mean?
It is a weird one. And I'll just say to you guys, because like Ghost Tube SLS, I think I did a big rant about it on here once because I just left it on for ages and the words were recycling around.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, that one bogus. And the SLS just picked, like, I had a hoodie on the floor and I filmed it on my SLS camera and it made the shape of a person in the doorway. And then when I moved the hoodie off the floor, it disappeared. And I was like, so it's just picking up anything and making a shape. Yeah. So definitely don't like that one. Necrophonic is the only one I really questioned because it doesn't ask for microphones when you download it. And that's the first thing I noticed. And then I opened up the sound bank to it and there's no preloaded words into it. It's just sounds like R, E, and stuff like that. So like it's really weird. But I think since I've used the SB7 with Bryan, I think I've completely changed. Not change my view, but I definitely wouldn't use the necrophonic now, I don't think.
Yeah. We've tested the necrophonic and we've also tested the Phasma box. And they're both about the same in our opinion.
So let me ask you this then. What do you think of the SLS Connect?
We have two of them that we built ourselves and they've been in our case for 2 years and we haven't used them, if that tells you anything. We do not use them.
Yeah, I notice a lot more investigators are using them, and I find it interesting on many different levels. I won't get into all the levels, but I just find that it's very interesting, and I wonder if it's doing the same thing as the SLS on the app on the phone. It's just picking up random stuff, stuff like that. So
I found that if you film a shadow, so if you're stood in front of your light, Bryan, and then you're filming down a corridor, your shadow will set it off.
That's right. And you got to think about it this way also, because it's a 360, an Xbox camera pretty much that is developed to pick up motion for these active games. So any sign of motion, period, any sign of motion is going to project a image. It could be a fly. It could be a fly flying through that screen, and it's going to project an image.
If it was accurate and it was a good tool, it would actually be visually. It's a really cool thing.
Yes, sir.
But because every time you get a stick figure on it, you just have to right, turn the light on. Why? I need to see who moved through here. I need to see if there's any bugs. And it's far too much hassle to use it accurately.
Yeah, that's for sure. So, on this question, both of you can answer this. What has been your scariest moment or place to investigate?
I would have to go with St. Albans Sanatorium in Radford, Virginia. That's probably, it's one of my favorite places, but yeah, I ain't say I've never been scared there, but I have been startled. Especially, and the most, I guess you'd say, scariest moment was worried to death about Bryan here beside me. We were going up the stairs in the Donald's room, and Bryan just got a really bad feeling of dread, and he's like, something's not right. He said, be careful going up here. I just don't feel right. As soon as we get to the top of the stairs, I kind of see his feet come up off the ground, and then he gets slung into a wall. And you all right, dude? You all right? And whenever he said his neck was hurting, I got to looking at the back of his neck, and he had 5 little red dots like a handprint around the back of his neck.
Oh, wow.
Now, Bryan, if you don't mind me asking, how tall are you and how big are you?
I'm about 5'6", 240.
So this thing was strong then if it lifted you off the ground. Jesus.
Wow. That's interesting. So what about you, Bryan? What's been your scariest place or scariest moment?
St. Albans. I ain't never been scared, but startled, like Rob said, about the same thing.
Yeah.
How did you against the wall?
How did you feel in that moment when you just realized what's just happened to you?
I felt my hairs on my arms standing up, a bunch of electricity. I'm sort of thinking, Donald, that sumbitch, done got me.
So was there anything when in that moment, I'm curious, in that moment, was there anything visually that you saw, or it was just like, boom, it happened and that was it?
It was just boom. It was so fast.
Wow.
And I was behind him with a camera, and nothing on camera other than him coming up and into the wall. That's all. It was like 1 second thing. That was it.
So there was nothing captured like EVP wise or no other sounds?
Lights, no orbs, no anything.
Wow. That's you hear about it. Hopefully it's never going to happen to you. Yeah. But when it does, it was like just incredible. It's weird. Robert, are you frozen? I think he is. Yep, there he is. I think you froze there. So this over here will go quickly. Hopefully. What I can do is let me do this. Yeah, there we go. I'll decide it on stream. So, it's just, that's just wild. When we were in the UK, or when I was in the UK, I did get touched on the shoulder. And originally I thought it was rain because it started to rain. And so I thought it was like a raindrop hitting my shoulder. And then later to find out when we did a voice recorder, I asked, "Did you touch me?" And it said, "Yeah, I did," on the voice recorder.
And I had my coat pulled at just towards the end, didn't I? We were asking it to touch our hands, and I was wearing a really heavy fur, like inside fur coat with a rucksack over the top, so you can't move any of the fabric really. And I felt like this behind. Like someone really pulled the jacket back. So that was really cool. But I can't imagine being picked up by the neck and chucked into a wall.
Yeah. I probably had it coming.
What's that? Sorry, Bryan?
I probably had it coming.
Uh-oh. Did you do something earlier in the night that caused that or what?
Well, I don't like Donald. I just talk junk to him.
He was very vulgar with Donald. Donald, the story behind Donald goes, he was a janitor at St. Albans, and he was not a very nice man at all. He would physically harm the female patients in the place and the children, male or female. So he was not a very good dude.
Wow.
And then you got Bryan coming in and talking smack to him.
Yeah. And then he throws him through the freaking wall. I mean, he hit the wall so hard the sheetrock caved.
Jesus.
Oh, wow. Wow.
And I just want to clarify that you did catch that on camera.
Nope.
Not on camera, but we got the audio of it on camera.
Oh, okay.
The camera frame was like this far away. So you get the audio and you see us coming up and past it, but then bam.
Yeah. Oh.
Wow.
Well,
So we get to the last question, and maybe Lex will spin it into, or do you want to ask something else, Lex?
Oh, I just want to do the opposite of that question quickly, and then just to
Okay.
say, like I said, in 26 years, you guys have investigated shit tons of places.
Oh yeah.
Is there any one in particular that stands out to you as your favorite investigation you've ever done, and where is that and why?
I'd have to say personally, my favorite investigation to this date is probably going to be St. Albans Sanatorium.
Fair enough.
That's
The
my
scariest and my favorite one.
We've done it like what, Brian? 7 times.
Oh yeah.
I forgot. I never. You know what? Sometimes my mind is like somewhere where it shouldn't be, and I should have put this up a long time ago. So, but what about you, Brian? What's been your favorite place?
I have to say St. Albans. I mean, because every time you go, it's something different. Something's always going on.
And have you, in the 7 times, have you had a negative encounter with Donald before?
Oh yeah, about every time.
Yeah, so it's like, and it might not be physical negative encounter, but I mean, we go up the stairwell, you got a recorder running, and we go back, we take a break, we get us something to drink, we review our evidence on the recorders. And when Brian was going up on the stairs, this was the last time we were there with Our Haunted Lives. Brian going up the stairs, and all you heard was a "get the F out." Well, about 30 minutes after that, David Taylor from Our Haunted Lives was going up the stairs, and when he got halfway up the stairs, something at the top of the stairwell let out one of the biggest growls you will ever hear, and all I heard was David turn around, and he was gone.
Wow. So go for it. Go for it, Lex.
Trying to think how I can spin this one. Let's say you could claim insurance for the injury that Donald caused you when he shit-fisted you through a wall. And behind that wall, you found all the money in the world. And you could use it to go anywhere in the world to investigate. Where would you go?
That's a hard one. I'd probably say Valley Forge or either the Tower of London.
Tower of London would be a good one, yeah.
Yeah. I'd have to say the Tower of London or Jesus's tomb.
Oh,
that's a new one. I've never heard that one before.
Yeah.
That would be really cool. When I was in the UK, I was talking to Lex and stuff like that about going to Normandy and filming there. But unfortunately, it was going to be way too much. Not way too much, but it was going to be a lot of hassle in getting there. Being in the UK, it was going to be a very, very long bus ride, and and I was only going to be there for like 2 or 3 days. But I would that's my second place that I want to film at. My first place, and it's me and Lex's first place that we want to investigate, and that's Suicide Forest. I think that would be a phenomenal place to investigate. But some great places, and it's funny because I said this on I guess a couple times on the show, that we find with American people that most Americans, when we offer them all this money in the world, they want to stay in the States.
No,
they don't want to go somewhere else.
they just cross to a different state. That's it. They're like, oh, we want to go to this one.
Oh, send me the bill.
All the money.
Go ahead, Lex. Sorry.
I think there was one of them before, which is like wherever they're from. I think they're like one state over from where Gettysburg is, and that's where they said they go. And I went, you don't need the money. You're next door.
Yeah, you can do that on the weekend with nothing.
Yeah.
Have you guys been to Gettysburg?
Nope.
I've been to it, but I haven't investigated it.
No.
Was it somewhere you'd want to investigate?
I would love to investigate it. I really would. just like the Bell Witch Caves. I would really love to investigate that one day.
Yeah.
That's good. So you're in North Carolina. How far are you from? I've been in North Carolina about 4 or 5 times. So how far are you from Raleigh?
Raleigh, we're probably about 45 minutes.
45 minutes.
Okay. So what is the town that you live in again?
Rockingham, North Carolina, Richmond County.
Okay. Yeah, I know Richmond County. That's better. Because when I first met you and you said what part of North Carolina, I'd never heard of that part of North Carolina. And like I said, I've been there like 4 or 5 times. How many times have I've been there 5 times. And I love North Carolina. It's such an amazing place. But it's you guys. Do you find that you guys have to go out most of the time to look for spots? Because there's not a lot of haunted spots in North Carolina, is there?
Well, we got a few, but most of our destinations here in the last year, I'm not gonna lie to you, has come out of Virginia.
Oh, really? So that's about, what's that? About a 5-hour drive for you? 4-hour
3
drive?
hours.
3
About
hours?
3
Okay.
hours.
3 hours.
Yeah. Okay.
Now we
So-
did recently take a trip to Ohio up in Madison, and we went to Madison Seminary. That was a pretty cool trip.
Yeah, that's Ohio seems to have quite a few spots itself.
Yeah.
And then obviously in between North Carolina and Ohio, there's crap loads.
Yeah.
So do you guys ever have you guys ever been down to like New York and stuff like that, where there's quite a few places
Not
down
yet.
there? I think
No.
what place is that one in New York that Mike from Charm City goes to a lot? I can't recall its name. It's up in the New York area. Anyways,
Allegheny?
pardon me.
Is it Trans Allegheny?
That sounds familiar. I know it's a hospital. It's very large. It's very haunted, and like extremely haunted. Like every time I've seen a video of that place, they're getting like massive amounts of evidence, and there always seems to be one piece of evidence that everybody seems to get, and that is a stream from a woman in the basement, I believe it's close to the morgue. And just incredible. But guys, I really appreciate coming on the show today. It was really fantastic learning about you both. Again, people, go down below in the description where their links are, and go follow them on YouTube, Facebook. I believe they even have their own website as well.
We do.
And go check out some of their YouTube videos. They're pretty cool. And like I said, I watched a few today, and they were. What was that? That house was an investigated, like a private residence. No,
Yes.
It's not a private. Was it a private residence?
The
House, the last video that you guys
Yeah.
have up on your YouTube.
It was a private residence.
Okay. So go check out those. But Bryan, Robert, thank you so much for being on today's show. We really appreciate, and we look forward to watching more stuff that you're coming out with, and obviously your podcast, so people can go check that out. And I'm looking forward to seeing who you have up next after Twisted Realm coming this Thursday. But other than that, thank you so much. I'm going to say my goodbyes, and we'll definitely talk soon. Okay.
Thank you for having us.
Thanks y'all for having us, man. It was an honor.
Yep.
Good luck with the future. But looking forward to seeing what you do with this podcast coming up next, because I do enjoy watching all these shows. So I'm glad we've got another one to add to the list.
That's right.
Thanks, sir.
No worries. Take care,
Bye,
guys.
guys.
You
Have
too.
a good rest of the day. Okay.
You too,
Thanks,
man.
sir.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, I was trying to. I thought I said something, and it did. What the hell?
Oh, I didn't hear you say anything.
No, that's why I thought maybe I disappeared or something like that, or I don't know. It's just, you never know what happens on this show. But again, I really want to say thank you to Robert and Bryan for coming on today's show and learning a little more about them. I want to say, guys who came into the room today and watched, thank you very much. I saw a paranormal consultant in there. I saw Raymond was in there. There was quite a few people came in today.
Some Facebook
Kelly?
users.
Yeah, Facebook users.
Yeah.
Matt, Parapost users. The Don Vick show was there.
I
He
saw
was
it. Yeah.
he was in the room, and Rachel or Rochelle. Walters, and there was a lot of people in the room today. So, guys, if you're still in the room, and there seems to be, if you can share out the show, that'd be great. If you can go down below and follow them on YouTube, Facebook. Go check out their website. These are two great guys that have been in the industry a very, very long time. And I'm glad they came on today's show. And this week, I believe it's this Thursday, they're going to have Twisted Realm on their podcast. So you can check that out on Parapost Network Central Facebook page. Go over there and give that a follow. And we don't say this enough, but we're going to say it today, or I'm going to say it today. If you can go over to our YouTube channel, where you will find Through the Lens with Bryan and Lex, and give us a follow, give us a like, give us a share. That would be awesome. So I'm going to say my goodbyes.
Go watch some previous episodes.
Yeah,
60 episodes to choose from.
Yeah, today was number 60.
Mm-hmm.
Is that a good mark?
I would assume so, considering we did 10 lives during the trip as well that we didn't episode. So technically, there's 70-ish clips on that channel.
Yeah, and I never put episodes on there.
Nah, because we didn't know how long they were going to be. So
This is true. But again, everybody, thank you for coming in today's show. We really appreciate it, like we do every week. I will say there won't be a show next week because I will be going down to New Jersey. I'm making a guest appearance at one of Rob's Get Haunted events. We're going to be doing the Whitehall Mansion. And if you're interested in going to the Whitehall Mansion, there are still tickets available. So just go over to the Get Haunted page and you can purchase some tickets if you're interested in coming out and meeting me or investigating with the group. That would be great. Can't wait to see everybody next week when I'm there. Hopefully I'll be able to get over the border.
I'm sure you'll be fine.
But again, everybody, thank you for coming in the room. And again, please share this out. I'm saying my goodbyes now.
Lovely. We'll see you in a couple of weeks, guys. Take care. Thank you very much for tuning in to Through the Lens. Where the hell is Bryan?
Damn.
Bryan's coming. I'm going to bring up these guys. Thanks a lot, guys. We really appreciate it.
I'm assuming you've ended the live, yeah? Because it still says live in my corner.